But I think ultimately people are looking to have a better life and a better experience. I doubt there are people out there that just want to be miserable. People want to be comfortable, they want to be happy, they want to be joyous. When you're so clear what you want in life, and you're so determined to get it, and you're willing to give up everything and everyone for it, then you're living a life in alignment with your purpose, and then you can spend the rest of your life in sync with who you are, as opposed to chasing so many different things around you that sparkle with. So I can get things instantaneously through technology, and then because we're so trained to getting things as soon as we want them, that we apply that to our life. And we think that, yeah, we can change overnight. And then people out there selling hacks. There's this hack, there's that hack. How are we going to hack this? How are we going to hack business? How are we going to hack the mind? How are we going to hack the body? But it doesn't work that way. You have a child, and your child is growing slowly and learning slowly. There's no way to hack your child. Can you make your 3-year-old boy, right? You have 3-year-old boy learn...
Walk faster, talk
faster, learn triple integrals by tomorrow. Why don't you hack him? It doesn't work, right? And then why as adults do we think we can hack everything? It's not sustainable, right? And then the other thing about being a teacher is that, you know, that's another thing that's being sold out there. Besides hacking, it's like, you know, let me certify you to be a yoga teacher. Let me certify you to be a life coach. I know you're 19 years old and you've never had any experiences in life, nor have you achieved anything that pushed you beyond the limits of your imagination. But let me certify you as a life coach after a 3-day weekend program. And I think when you go with the idea that I'm going to learn something and then take that content and teach it, you never really learn. When I went to the monastery and to learn from my guru, I went purely to be a student. First of all, I went there with the knowledge that I knew nothing. I wanted to learn from him. And then once I learned from him, my goal was to strive to implement everything as best as possible. I have zero intent to teach, right? And I feel when you take that approach, you learn the best. And some of the people that I work with purely have that approach. They have zero intention to teach. They just really want to learn. And so when you go there with that intention, then you learn really well. Because when I lived as a monk, it was all about rituals throughout the day, right? And a lot of times I think people have this misconception that, you know, if you practice something in the morning, people say to me, you know, Dandapani, if I practice meditation for 10 minutes every morning, is that going to affect my life? And I'm like, yes, but what are you doing the remaining 23 hours and 50 minutes? You know, if you're doing things that counteract what you're doing in the morning, then it doesn't help. If you exercise for 10 minutes in the morning and the rest of the day you're eating, you know, fish and chips and drinking beer and pizza, laying on the couch, it's not going to help. So the whole app is about helping people create rituals throughout the day. The same way that I have rituals in my life, and as a monk I was trained to have rituals. But nowadays people, like we were chatting earlier, you know, if someone wants to learn martial arts, they want to learn the quick swirl 360 kung fu kick in the air or something. You know, no one wants to go and do the hard work. And that's all about the quick fix. You know, how can I get from A to B as quickly as possible? It doesn't work that way. And it's not only about training the body, it's about training the mind too, right? The mind needs to adjust, and the mind is like a muscle. It needs to reshape itself to be able to take on a new way of thinking and a new way of behaving, and, you know, progressively hold that new shape. And that only comes through repetition and patience and slow, hard work of doing the same thing over and over again. You know, one of my good friends is an Olympic gold medalist. She won the gold medal in beach volleyball. And she told me, and she had an amazing teacher, a coach, she said, and she said at one time the coach made her work on the volleyball court, do footwork for 6 months with no ball. So they trained for 6 months on the sand with no ball, and it was beach volleyball. Wow. And, you know, she did whatever her coach told her to do. She said she grumbled, but she did it. But that's the training that most people just don't want to go through, you know, and I think so many teachers out there are selling quick fixes, and because they have never been trained themselves properly, so they've got a quick fix learning to get from A to B, so then they go and teach a quick way to get from A to B. You know, they don't understand this old traditional path of slowly learning and developing yourself over a period of time is is what really creates mastery in a certain level. In the monastery, living a celibate life in a cloistered monastery, away from your family, friends, your relatives, waking up early in the morning, strict discipline and training, eating 3 meals a day, it takes 36 years before you're qualified as a teacher. 36 years. So if I lived only 10 years, I'm not even anywhere close to that. And I'm still a student. You get used to being comfortable. And that's the problem, right? You stay in an apartment for long enough, you stay in a city for long enough, you're comfortable, you know where to go buy your milk, your bread, you know your surroundings, you get comfortable, you get used to it. And one of the biggest teachings he taught me is about awareness in the mind. You're not the mind, rather you're pure awareness traveling through different areas of the mind. And your goal is to take your awareness from your conscious mind, move it through the conscious mind, through the subconscious, into the superconscious areas of the mind, which is the most refined areas of your mind to experience deeper inner states and ultimately self-realization, God realization. But awareness travels in the mind, but when you get stuck physically in a certain place and you get used to your surroundings and your comforts, your external environment is a reflection of how your awareness is working in your mind. That means your awareness is stuck in a particular area of the mind because there's really no separation between your inner state and your outer state. And what he was teaching me is that by moving me around, making sure I never got comfortable long enough one place to stay attached, he was teaching me that to not allow my awareness to get stuck in a particular area of mind and in a particular area of the mind and stay in a rut, and that I could actually break my awareness free from a particular area of the mind, really grab hold of it and take it deep within myself and experience deeper states of mind and the superconscious and ultimately self-realization.
Which is what we're all looking for, right?
I don't know if it's everyone is looking for it, because I think people aren't aware what it is. They haven't defined it for themselves. But I think ultimately people are looking to have a better life and a better experience. And I doubt there are people out there that just want to be miserable. People want to be comfortable, they want to be happy, they want to be joyous. But are they looking for self-realization? I don't know.